Hi guys, and today we will be reporting Republic Act 10611, otherwise known as Food Safety Act of 2013. I hope you learned something and you can enjoy it. Thank you and God bless. Food, as one of the basic needs of man, provides the health requirements of a person in order to live. The availability of food on the plate of every Filipino is among the main concerns of the government in achieving food security. The Philippines has a number of policies being implemented that recognize role of improving food production and supply to meet the ever-growing food demand. However, more than achieving availability and sufficiency of supply, food security is also defined as access to safe, security, and nutritious food. Food safety refers to the assurance that food will never cause harm. Human health is protected and market access of locally produced food and food products is facilitated. In August 23, 2013, President Benigno Aquino III signed into law Republic Act No. 10611, otherwise known as Food Safety Act of 2013. The law primarily adheres to the Philippine Constitution's declaration to protect and promote the right of the Filipino people to health and keep its populace from the threat of trade malpractices, its substandard, and hazardous product.
So, in the Food Safety Act of 2013, it was stated in Section 4, Article 1, that Republic Act No. 10611, that is also known as the Food Safety Act of 2013, defines food as any substance or product, whether processed, partially processed, or unprocessed, that is intended for human consumption. So it also includes drinks, chewing gum, water, and other substances which are intentionally incorporated into food during its manufacture, preparation, and treatment. So, on the other hand, food safety refers to assurance that food will not cause harm to the consumer when it is prepared or eaten according to its intended use. So, it is also stated on the section 4. So, the law primarily aims to strengthen the food safety regulatory system in the country. Food safety regulatory system is the combinations of regulations, food safety standards, inspection, testing, data collection, monitoring, and other activities. It is carried out by food safety regulatory agencies or the FSRAs and the local government unit or the LGUs in the implementation of the responsibility for the control of food safety risks in the food supply chain. So, specifically, it aims to protect the public from foodborne illness and waterborne illness and unsanitary. So, it also protects us from unwholesome, misbranded, or adulterated foods. It enhances industry and consumers' confidence in the food regulatory system and achieve economic growth and development by promoting fair trade practices, by promoting fair trade practices and some regulatory foundation for domestic and international trade. So all of this you can see this all on Section 3 of Article 1. So, in general, RA 10611 works in the principles of achieving food safety to protect human life and health in the production of consumption of food and protection consumers' interests through fair practices in the food trade. So, the protection of consumer interests shall be geared towards prevention of adulteration, misbranding, fraudulent practices, and other practices which misleads the consumer, and the prevention of mispresentation of labeling and false advertising in the presentation of food. So, Well, in order to support the food legislation, standards for food safety measures shall be developed. So, for food safety standards refers to formal documents containing the requirements that foods or food processors have to comply. So, to safeguard human health, so it should be noted that the food safety standard should be based on risk assessment, which is anchored to sound scientific evidence. So yeah, that's all.
Responsibilities of food safety. Food safety is the foremost responsibility of food business operators and key government agencies. The food business operators, a person engaged in the food business including one's agents, shall have the principal responsibilities to ensure that food satisfies the requirements of food law relevant to their activities in the food supply chain. And the control system are the place to prevent, eliminate, or reduce risk to consumer. This is Section 13. On the other hand, among the key government agencies with the prime responsibility of ensuring food safety includes the Department of Agriculture or DA, Department of Health, and Department of Interlocal Government, and the local government units. The following are the responsibilities of these government agencies.
Hi everyone, it's Sophia Alde and I'm going to discuss to you the Food Safety Regulation Coordinating Board, or what we call FSRCB. So the Food Safety Regulation Coordinating Board is created to first is to monitor and coordinate the performance and implementation of the mandates of the DA, the DOH, the DILG, and the LGUs in food safety regulation. So the letter D is to identify the agency responsible for enforcement based on their legal mandates when jurisdiction over specific areas overlap. So the letter C is to coordinate crisis management and planning during food safety emergencies. And the letter D is to establish the policies and procedures for coordination among agencies involved in food safety. And letter E is to continuously evaluate the effectiveness of enforcement of the food safety regulations and research and training programs. So letter F is to regularly submit reports to the Congressional Committees on Health, Agriculture, and Food, and Trade and Industry. And lastly is the letter G is to accept grants and donations from local and international sources. That's all.
Prohibited acts. The law also defines prohibited acts against its provisions. It shall be unlawful for any person to A. Produce, handle, or manufacture for sale, offer for sale, distribute in commerce, or import into the Philippines any food or food product which is not in conformity with an applicable food quality or safety standard promulgated in accordance with this act. B. Produce, handle, or manufacture for sale, offer for sale, distribute in commerce, or import into Philippines any food or food product which has been declared as banned food product by a rule promulgated in accordance with this act. C. Refuse access to pertinent records or entry of inspection officers of the FSRA. D. Fail to comply with an order relating to notifications to recall unsafe products. E. Adulterate, misbrand, mislabel, falsely advertise any food product which misleads the consumers and carry out any other acts contrary to good manufacturing practices. F. Operate a food business without appropriate authorization. G. Connive with food business operators or food inspectors, which will result in food safety risk to consumers. And H. Violent implementing rules and regulation of this Act, Section 37. Thank you.
Any person who shall commit or violate any provision of this Act shall suffer penalties, which may include payment of fine of not less than 50,000 pesos, but not more than 500,000 pesos, suspension or permanent revocation of appropriate authorization to operate a food business, payment of the hospitalization and rehabilitation cost of injury or injured person, and imprisonment of not less than 6 months and 1 day, but not more than 6 years and 1 day, depending on the number of conviction or injury, death, costs. Food Safety Act of 2013 embodies the Philippine commitment to achieve one of the twin goals of food security, which is access to safe food. The law provides comprehensive food safety provisions and offers mechanisms to uphold the person's general welfare through the promotion of protection of human life and health and the production and consumption of food. However, the achievement of its objectives relies heavily on the crafting of implementing rules and regulations, which is concerned effort of both DOH and DA.